Welcome to the Diva Details. Welcome to the Diva Details, where bold, confident women embrace life unapologetically. From love and sex to wellness and reinvention, we keep it raw, real, and powerful. No filters, no limits. Just fearless conversations to help you thrive. Let's dive in with Diva Mia and Diva Cat.
Well, hello, this is Diva Mia. Today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about how to find your purpose again. It could be after loss of a job, after death of a spouse, after a long-term relationship and then a breakup, after a divorce. Your purpose is extremely important. It helps us keep moving along in life. Struggling to find your purpose can be challenging. After losing a partner, it can be very painful and confusing. I know a lot of people do wrap their identity up in their partner. You might have been a couple that always went places together. And so now that when you go places, the restaurants seem different, things feel different. And now you're trying to find who you really are. This is not the end. It's your invitation to rediscover yourself. It's the most important relationship you're ever going to have in life is the relationship with yourself. So rediscovering yourself is very important. Your self-talk is important, how you treat yourself. Part of this is going to be growth for you. A lot of times we don't grow unless we go through pain. So remember that. When a relationship ends, especially after many years, you were tangled up in the we, and now you get to discover the me and the who you are specifically. There's no longer a we, it's now a me. You are amazing and you are wonderful and you were put here for a purpose. And this is the best time for you to find your purpose. When you go through a loss, it can trigger an identity crisis. I know when I went through my loss, I had a complete identity crisis. It was 28 years of a relationship, and then I got out of the relationship or the marriage, and then I was wondering, where's my purpose? It was a struggle, I will say. And I think it's a growth factor. If you look at the relationship as a lesson and every aspect of the relationship as a lesson, you will find that it helped you along your life journey. That's kind of how things are in life. I think we find out that whenever there's a problem, it's a good thing. Because whenever there's a problem, there's an opportunity for growth and a lesson to be learned. And the reality is if you don't learn from those lessons, you keep repeating them. So if you keep dating the same person, or if you keep going through the same type of relationship in life, you're going to realize you just never actually learned the lesson that you needed to learn. If you get out of the relationship and you say, this person's exactly like my last, well, we're missing the lesson all along. Let's talk about our purpose now. You're going to need to grieve first. You're going to need to grieve the person. You're going to need to let them go. Then you can start to look inward. The person you want to be with that relationship is gone, and that's okay. You need to find the new you, and the new you is going to be different than the old you. Who were you before the relationship? Is there any part of you that you want to recall back? For instance, I was extremely driven and motivated before my relationship, and I love that part of me. So I want to call that back into me. That is part of my core values and who I am. What part did you abandon during the relationship or silence in order to keep the relationship going? A lot of times when we're in relationships, we mute ourselves in order to keep the peace. Refining your purpose is reawakening those parts of yourself that you don't want to have muted, that you should never have probably muted in the first place. Now that you're finding yourself again, you can unmute that portion of you and reawaken. What have you always wanted to do, but you put it off? This might be a great time to go on that trip that you didn't go on because your partner didn't want to go on it with you, or to explore something new because you had a job that didn't allow you to go explore. Now is the time to go out there and go for it. It will give you extra energy. And also, what brings you energy in life? I mean, right now, are you happy doing what you're doing? Is your job making you happy? Are you feeling fulfilled? This is a great time to explore exactly what you want in life. I've been through different types of healing journeys in the past couple of years. It's the more I heal, the more I level up, and I'm finding new parts of me as I'm leveling up. I'm finding new ways that I want to grow as I'm leveling up. I'm expanding into new business opportunities. The new business opportunities are making me grow in ways that I never expected. One thing to do is to journal. I think journaling is so important when you're trying to find yourself again. You can write down things you're interested in, things that sparked your attention. I really love walking in nature. Walking in nature and meditation helps me get focused. Even swimming. I like doing long swimming for like an hour, hour and a half, go and swim, and I really get into my head and I can focus. Whatever it is that makes you calm your mind and relax and go inward. Silent mornings are good for some people. Sometimes listening to classical music is a good thing. Therapy and coaching can help, but I really do believe that a lot of this work has to be done solo. You can't get it from your friends. You can't get it from your therapist or even from a coach. They will help, but because this is a personal thing, if you take other people's opinions completely, what will happen is you'll get their biases. You'll get their belief system. This is something that you need to do for you. It may be crazy what you want to do. Maybe you want to travel around the world and everybody around you is telling you it's crazy, but you want to do it. Then maybe that's something you need to do. Maybe you want to completely change careers. Maybe you want to refocus your life on something else. Maybe you want to go from being a high-powered executive to being a full-time mom. There are many things you can do, and it's up to you to choose. Your purpose, it doesn't have to be huge. It can be just stepping back and going into your own personal power. It can be stepping back and coming back into your femininity. Men go through this too, ladies. Some men will have the same type of problems after a divorce. They wrap their identity up in the marriage as well, and they lost themselves. So it's not just women that go through the struggle of refining your purpose, but it does start with intention, and you have to be intentional about it. And I recognized early on after my divorce that I had wrapped up a lot of my purpose into taking care of my ex and making sure that he was happy. And when I realized that I need to have a new purpose and it has nothing to do with him, it was a little scary at first, I will say. I will let you know that you're going to go through days where you're like, what is it? And you just keep asking the same question over and over again. What do I want to do with my life? What is my purpose? How do I do this? How do I change? How do I shift from the us to the me or the we to the me? How do I fix this? Well, it is going to be challenging. But again, like everything good, if you step out of your comfort zone, you're going to find some new things that you just fall in love with about yourself. I would recommend as much as possible when you're trying to find your new purpose is first of all, step out of your comfort zone. Try to get out there and do things you've never done before because you will find that you love certain things that you thought were going to be very scary. I will say also try to constantly move in action. I think a lot of times we let fear override us and we talk ourselves out of doing the things we know we should just go and do. Try something new every single week. I like to try something new every single day. Go to an art class, go dancing, travel a little bit. Anything you want to really do, I think it's a great way to rediscover your purpose. Maybe you want to focus on contribution and get back into religion. A lot of people after a divorce go back into religion. I know that I refocused after my divorce as well. I listen to religious podcasts now. I listen to religious songs on the radio, changed into a new church. So a lot of things will happen after you have a breakup, a divorce, or even a death that sometimes going back into religion helps, or maybe contributing to other people. You might want to go into a charity organization and give back. It just depends on what makes you feel whole. I like to do a vision board. I've done multiple vision boards and I redid my vision board. I actually had a vision board party after my divorce and I sat down with a friend and we just worked through our vision boards. I added all the things I really wanted, not the things I wanted for me and my ex, but the things I wanted for me and my children. Going forward, this is my new vision of who I really wanted to be. That really did help focus. I recommend revising your vision board every 3 months. Now, some people say to do it every year. I think that's too long. I think you need to revisit your vision board, add things, and pull things off that you're not necessarily wanting anymore because we do evolve. People really do change. With the vision board, you can then take the vision board and you can set little goals, micro goals or mini goals off of the vision board. So you take your vision board. Let's say you want to have a new car. Okay, that's something small and easy to do. So you want to have a new car. You need to lay out a plan, little micro goals in order to get there. If you want to compete in a marathon, maybe you need to step through over the next 12 months what you need to do monthly and hit every single goal. You can have a long-term vision board and you can have a short-term vision board. I recommend your short-term vision board has to be things you want to hit in the next year. And then from that short-term vision board, you need to be looking at it every day. You really do. And thinking about it, visualizing it. And then from everything you want to do, take that and step out little goals. Ask what you want to do for this next chapter. I mean, maybe you want to write a book. Maybe you want to create a podcast. Maybe you want to do things with your children. Whatever it is, make sure you write it down and you create little goals around each thing you want to do. Give yourself some grace. Get rid of the guilt. Don't give yourself so much guilt for what happened. Things happen in life. People move on. People change. People do things that you don't expect, but give yourself some grace. Learn that you're enough. You're worthy. Whatever happened, happened. Start with a clean slate. Tomorrow's a new day. Don't forget. You can forgive. You don't have to forget, but you're moving on and you don't want to sit there and dwell in the past. I know a lot of times when people go through a divorce, they ruminate too long. Maybe their ex is nearby and they run into them all the time. It might be that you want to move towns so you don't run into your ex all the time. Get rid of ruminating in the past. It's okay to cry too. When I got divorced, I cried a lot. I'm not a big crier. It was unexpected. When you cry, you let some of that pain out. I will say it was healing to cry. Now I don't cry at all anymore over it. I'm done. But it took a while. And it's okay to cry. It's okay to let that pain out. Whether you're a woman or a man, it's okay for men to cry too. And then eventually what will happen is you'll wake up one morning and you'll just feel joy because you've healed and you've let it out. Now, healing is not a end date. Healing is a process. I think healing is more about us changing and evolving into who we want to be and leveling up to who we want to be than any type of forgiveness. Healing is for our own personal growth, for us to grow into who we really want to be. And one day you'll have so much joy, you'll start laughing. And there should not be any guilt around you. You're just laughing. You're happy. There's nothing wrong with being happy again. Don't apologize for your joy. You got to really feel that joy. You're allowed to find joy again. You're allowed to be happy again. You're allowed to move into a new place, a new peace, a new level. I encourage you to. And we as women need to grow from our pain and still love again. I am love. I love to give people love. That doesn't mean every guy I date I fall in love with. No, I'm not that way. I do give people care and consideration and love. That's part of one of my core values. I think we as women need to give love without the fear of being destroyed again. That's part of living. Part of living is there's going to be breakups and there's going to be heartbreak and things will happen, but that shouldn't change who you are as a core person. We can give love and still have boundaries. We can give love and still protect ourselves. Protection and boundaries doesn't mean that you're not loving. It just means that you're also loving yourself because you're just as important as the other person. Remember that as well. I think that was one of the hardest lessons for me to realize is I felt like I couldn't love again after. But now that I have my purpose, now that I know what direction I'm going in, and now that I've been able to give someone love again, if it ends, it ends. But the person I love the most now is myself. And that should be part of your purpose as well. This is not a breakdown in life when you have a loss like this. It's a breakthrough. You're going to grow from it, even if it hurts like no pain you've ever felt before. It will give you new purpose. It's going to help you start from experience this time, though. So you're not starting all the way over again from the beginning. You're starting from experience. You're starting to live a life that you never imagined. And you can grow in any direction that you want to. You have the right to grow in any direction you want to. And no one can tell you no. Now, I'm not saying you go out and you break the law, but I am saying you get to explore all the new beauty that's out there. I will say once in a while, I wake up and I look at the sky and I say how beautiful that is. Or I listen to the birds cawing in the background and I'm like, wow. The other day I had ducks fly into my swimming pool and I was like, that is beautiful. And I took pictures and I slowed down. And the nice thing is that I get to slow down now and take care of me. And you need to take care of you because if you're not taking care of you, you can't help anyone else. And the more you start to fill your cup up and find your purpose and find your reality and heal, the more you will grow into your purpose. Now that you know what you want to do, go find that purpose, find your direction. I would say make a list of all the things that you love, all the things that you enjoy doing. I love lists. I don't know if you've listened to any of my other podcasts, but I do love lists. And the more things you write down that you love to do, it's kind of like a bucket list, but a bucket list for you. A bucket list to help with your healing. If you want to go travel to somewhere you never got to travel to, write it on your list. If you want to experience drawing, write it on your list. If you want to date a certain type of person, write that on your list. If you want to change jobs, write that on your list. And take steps to make these things that you really want to do happen. Because our lives are not forever. We never know when it's going to end. And our purpose should make us feel whole, should make us feel complete, should help us grow. It may be you want to enter a bodybuilding competition. It may be that you want to lose 50 pounds. It may be that you want to change your style, change your hair color, change the way you look. But the biggest growth you're going to have with your purpose is internally. You're going to find that you are an amazing person, that you never knew how special and amazing you are until you focus on you. I do believe a lot of times people stay single for a long time and don't date because of this, because they're learning about themselves, because they're on that journey to self-discovery. And I do also recommend to take a technology break or to go to a spa or a retreat where there's no technology and you can just de-stress and deplug and walk away from all the noise, because all that stuff is just a distraction. And when you have too many distractions, you're not looking for your purpose. You're just looking for something to keep your mind off of the pain. Until you can actually get rid of the distractions, you won't find your purpose, because the purpose comes after the pain. The pain comes first to teach us our lessons, and we've really got to look for those lessons. And once we get to those lessons, then you can start looking for your purpose. And the funny thing is as you find your purpose, you might look back again and say, oh, I forgot I learned that lesson as well. So those lessons will help you get to your next purpose and your next level and your next level up. And you may find that you're leveling up a lot now. I have found that I'm leveling up in every area of my life. I leveled up with my friends. Some friends had to go. So sometimes you'll find that friends are defeating your new purpose. The friends that kept you in the same way you were before, that were comfortable with you, that liked it when you were drinking too much, that liked it when you were overweight or eating too much, that liked it when you were in that relationship, they may be gone. And that might be a good thing. They were probably not where you need to go. So remember that and find your strength inside. Every single one of you has this amazing strength inside that you really need to go and find. It's like a little flame inside, and that strength will help take you to your new purpose. That strength will guide you on your journey. And don't look for your purpose in another person. Your purpose can be to take care of your children, but don't look for your purpose inside the children. That your purpose comes from within. And if you try to pull it from another person, or you try to rush out into dating to have someone else teach you your purpose, you're going to be back in the same problem, in the same boat you're in. This is your journey. This is your journey to self-discovery and self-love. And it's amazing how much you can love yourself as you redefine your purpose and redefine who you are. As you grow, find what you really want. Look inward, look spiritual. Whether you believe in God or not, there's purpose there to be found as well. There is spirit and there's self-love, and it's a journey. I wish you all the best of luck, because it's a really fun journey. This is Diva Mia. I love you all. Signing off.
Thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe, and drop a comment. We love hearing from you. Visit thedivadetails.com to connect. See you next week for more.
Diva Details podcast and website are intended solely for informational and entertainment purposes. The content provided does not constitute professional, medical, financial, or legal advice. We are not licensed medical practitioners, financial advisors, or legal professionals. Always consult with a qualified healthcare provider for medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Any financial topics discussed are based on personal opinions and experience and should not be considered professional advice. The content provided does not constitute legal advice. The Diva Details and its affiliate contributors and guests are not liable for any losses or damages arising from use of our content. The opinions expressed in the podcast are solely those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views of any affiliated organization, sponsors, or partner. All facts discussed in the podcast are researched and accurate to the best of our knowledge at the time of recording. Information may change over time. No guarantees are made regarding the accuracy, completeness, or reliability of any statements or opinions presented. It is the responsibility of the listener to verify any and all facts that may influence their decision. This podcast is for information and entertainment purposes only and should not be considered professional advice.